on Osrc News at 7. National Population Commission seeks stakeholders' support towards credible 2023 census. Ondo State government moves against environment degradation. Embattled IPOB leader takes case to Supreme Court. And from the foreign scene, reprieve on the way as party in Ethiopia's conflicts agree on ceasefire. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news. I am Oyewumi Ayinigbara. The National Population Commission (NPC) Ondo State has urged stakeholders to support the Commission in conducting a credible and acceptable census in 2023. The two-day workshop organized by the Commission brought together stakeholders from the 18 local government areas of the state. Joy Pius reports that the program was held at the Federal Secretariat in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The reports.
It is the convergence of stakeholders from the 18 local government areas of Ondo State for the state-level compendium of localities workshop ahead the 2023 National Population Census. Addressing the gathering, the State Director, National Population Commission, Mr. Oluyemi Falusi, explained the challenges encountered in the last National Population Census in terms of generating proper locality figures, noting that the stakeholders workshop will help plug the gap ahead of the exercise scheduled to hold in April 2023.
This workshop is another step into that same direction. That is one of the steps that we must take to have a successful 2023 census.
The Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Ondo State, Mr. Oladiran Iyantan, said the stakeholders meeting will provide an opportunity to discuss issues in preparation for the 2023 census and reiterated the Commission's commitment to ensure credible and acceptable census results.
I have to focus on you because we are inseparable in this mission. We are like Siemens twins in this mission. And until we achieve our goal of creating an enabling environment for everyone to be counted, works are at the right place so that we will be able to know how many people we have in our environment.
In their separate goodwill messages, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Akinwumi Showore, and other critical stakeholders commended the move as a step to the right direction, urging the Commission to ensure adequate mobilization for the exercise.
The success of the program is key to the Commission. Though we at the local government level, at the state government level, and all the various stakeholders, we must play our part because the benefit is direct to all sundry.
If the local government is going to cooperate with the Population Commission this time around, what we want you to take back to Abuja is that they should properly fund you.
NOAA is going to put in place all machinery to make sure that we achieve a greater success than before in this coming exercise.
There was a presentation on the list of localities captured in Ondo State, as well as question and answer session.
So the essence of our visit today is to present to you the output of this demarcation exercise in Ondo State. I would like to assure you that every inch of land in the state has been covered.
From the success that was recorded in the demarcation exercise, we know that the next war that the NPC wants to embark upon now will be equally successful.
The event also featured the official handover of the locality lists to the local government chairman as part of preparations to make the 2023 census hitch-free. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Also, the present administration in Ondo State is apt on the need to identify, predict, and evaluate foreseeable impact of environmental activities that can cause various degrees of damage to the environment. This was the idea behind a sensitization and awareness workshop held at the Ondo State Ministry of Finance. Osrc's Olusheye Akinwalire reports that the workshop was organized by the Ministry of Environment in partnership with the state's Environmental Protection Agency and the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budgeting.
The event, which brought together critical stakeholders in diverse sectors, had as its theme the role of environmental assessment in project sustainability for various sectors of the economy. Declaring the event open, the Commissioner for Environment, Sunday Akinwalire, said the environmental assessment is aimed at eliminating and controlling the effects of how people treat the environment.
The governor has procured, telling us, 2 additional swamp buggies, excavators. At least we're having 3 now in the states, and the idea is that each senatorial district will have one at the southern central district, one at the central, and one at the northern central district. That we did not experience flooding that would have led to loss of properties and life this time around. It did not just come anyhow. It is through the concerted effort and dedication of Mr. Governor.
In their goodwill messages, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Jimo Afolabi, and Special Advisor to the Governor on Environment, Oyeni Yoseni, said the state government is committed to environmental protection and solicited the support of every individual to help it actualize its objectives.
Our ministry will going to do more about the development of our building, where you have to place your building, where you have to build your building, to get the necessary permit, to make sure you get the necessary permit so as to assist us so that the environment and the health is safe.
You know the difference between environmental impact assessment, environmental assessment and environmental audit is very key. The moment they know and they know the time each one should be coming up, we have less problem with them on the field.
The Director of Environmental Assessment, Funke Adeoye, harped on the need for entrepreneurs and investors to conduct an environmental assessment before embarking on any activity.
Looking at the various sectors, we discovered the level of awareness is very low. Most of them did not know they have to have an environmental impact assessment be done.
The workshop featured a lecture by Professor Ayo Olajuigbe of the Urban Planning and Regional Planning Department at the Federal University of Technology, Akure. Participants promised to be mindful of their activities and the effects they might have on the environment.
Now we know that we have to know the impact of our facility on the environment.
I and my colleagues, we have learned so much that we should develop a way that whatever things we are doing does not affect even the business and the people that surround us.
Associations in attendance are the bakers, hoteliers, companies, filling stations, pharmaceutical industry, food production companies, table water producers, and many others. Olusheye Akinwalire, Osrc News.
And now to politics. The leader of the Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization, Afenifere, Reuben Fashoranti, says that he was misinterpreted in the media on the issue between himself and the acting leader of the group, Ayo Adebanjo. Fashoranti said he never stopped Adebanjo from being the acting leader of the group. Crisis hit the group as per Fashoranti on Sunday endorsed the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, while Adebanjo had earlier declared support for the candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, on behalf of the association. In a statement through his personal assistant, Mr. Adedapo Abiola, Fashoranti said some section of the media's report was untrue on the matter. He said Fashoranti's main concern is the interest of the Yoruba in the complex political situation in Nigeria, and that Afenifere should survive in dignity and remain a purveyor of the interest of the Yoruba race. In the meantime, the spokesman for the All Progressives Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, says the newly released schedule of rallies and activities of the party's presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, is a working draft that is subject to changes. He said this after he released a revised timetable hours after the original schedule for release. In the schedule of activities, Tinubu is expected to kick off his inaugural rally in Jos Plateau State capital on November 15 and an interfaith town hall meeting in Abuja on November 9 and another in Calabar 3 days later. According to the revised timetable, there will be a series of rallies in Delta on the 19th, the Imo 21st, Adamawa 24th, Ogun 26th, Enugu 29th, and Sokoto 30th. Between December 4 and 10, the campaign team will embark on international engagement with stakeholders in diaspora. And the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Ogun State Chapter, has expelled its former governorship candidate, Ladi Adibutu, and 4 others. According to the party, the expulsion was over their alleged involvement in the manipulation of the delegate list used in conducting the May 25, 2022 governorship primary election of the party and flagrant disobedience to court order. Adibutu was expelled along with 4 others, Taiwo Akinlabi, Sunday Sholari, Kayode Adebayo, and Akinluyi Bankole, after the relevant working committee of the party reviewed the report of a 5-man disciplinary panel set up to look into the allegations of anti-party, indiscipline, division, and acts capable of bringing the party into disrepute. The chairman of the disciplinary committee, Akintunde Muftau, said in a statement that after a thorough review of the allegation leveled against them, the panel found Adibutu and others guilty. Meanwhile, the Labour Party LP has dismissed claims that its national chairman, Julius Abure, has resigned. There have been claims that Abure has resigned as a Labour Party national chairman. In a tweet, LP blamed the opposition for such lies, adding that Abure has not dumped Obi and urged the public to disregard the news. Still on election and politics, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, has sworn in 19 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners, RECs. At the INEC headquarters in Abuja, venue of the event, Yakubu charged the RECs to devote their loyalty to Nigeria and not to compromise the integrity of the commission. He also deployed the 19 RECs to their geopolitical zones, but outside their state of origin, in line with INEC's regulation that forbids a commissioner from serving in his or her home state. 5 of the 19 RECs are returning commissioners who were reappointed by President Muhammadu Buhari and approved by the Senate. Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has requested 50 billion naira for its 2023 budget, an increment of 10 billion naira compared to its 2022 budget, which was 40 billion naira. This was contained in a document submitted by INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu during the Commission's budget defense session in the Senate. The National Assembly had already approved 305 billion naira for the conduct of the 2023 general elections. In the budget document, 2.6 billion naira was earmarked for off-season elections in Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa states, expected to hold on November 11, 2023. During the session, the chairman of the Senate Committee on INEC, Kabiru Gaya, said the committee will properly oversee the electoral body to ensure it is prepared for the upcoming elections. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has declared tomorrow, November 4th, 2022, as National Day of Prayers to seek divine intervention in the affairs of the country. The Christian body, in a statement by the chairman, Local Organizing Committee National Prayer Day, Archbishop John Praise Daniel, invited all candidates for the 2023 general elections to the meeting at the National Christian Center in Abuja. CAN said it is also going to be a day to implore God's help in preventing violence, manipulation, intimidation of voters and other electoral crimes in the forthcoming elections. According to CAN, the prayer is imperative in view of the fact that the nation is passing through very challenging times at the moment, despite its abundant natural, human, and material resources. The Christian body urged all block chairmen, zonal chairmen, states and local chairmen, and all church leaders to mobilize their members nationwide for the program. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. In fulfillment of his promise to prioritize the well-being of his constituent, the lawmaker representing Akure South constituency at the Ondo State House of Assembly, Toluwani Borokini, took the train of free medical outreach to Adofure community in Akure. About 500 people benefited from the gesture, which they say will go a long way at boosting the health and well-being of the people. Omoshiliola Desoyajayi now reports.
It was the turn of the people of Adofure community and its environs to benefit from the free medical outreach of Mr. Toluwani Borokini. The intervention, which covered over 450 residents of the area, both old and young, is to complement Ondo State government's efforts in providing adequate health care for citizens. Borokini, who is also the chief whip of the house and president Toluwani Borokini Foundation, opined that development can only be entrenched if citizens have good health.
We feel it's very crucial for everyone to take their health very importantly, and we come to give necessary drug prescription. Our doctors are here and other professional health service personnel are here, health workers are here to give full support.
He expressed optimism that the exercise will address the health challenges of benefiting constituents.
A lot of people are benefiting, a lot of people are in love with what we are doing. A lot of people are getting the impact, we are getting feedbacks regularly. We'll still take it to other parts of the constituency, the healthcare. Yesterday we had free fuel for cadre riders, and we hope to do a lot of this around our constituency before the year runs out.
The outreach, which had its first phase in Oda Town, provided beneficiaries with general medical consultation, malaria test and treatment, family planning and contraceptives, blood pressure examination and treatment, sugar level test, among others. Some of the beneficiaries said the intervention was a great relief and thanked the lawmaker for the gesture.
This is a nice and a good program for this constituency. Nobody is paying one dime. Nobody is asking us to pay 1 naira. And those that needed of drugs, they will give him the drugs. If he doesn't need drugs, they will tell you are okay. So it's what free is good. As a matter of fact, I'm overwhelmed with joy because this is part of evidence of democracy that we are expecting from those people we elected to represent us. Honorable Borokini has done well, and I was told that this is not only where he has performed this type of free health care, he has done it in Osrc and other places. So, on behalf of the good people of Okarubo Date, we appreciate him for that.
Since we have started this program, we have been impacting lives and treating people that has common ailments in this community, and those that have ailments that requires urgent medical attentions, they have been referred to government hospital for further follow-up.
The Adofure Free Medical Outreach was the second in the series by Toluwani Borokini Foundation. Omoshiliola Adesoyajayi, OSRC News.
Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has approached the Supreme Court to appeal the ruling by the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of the court's judgment discharging him. In a statement, one of Kanu's lawyer, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, said it became pertinent to approach the Apex Court after a thorough review of the said ruling by the defense team led by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ezekome. According to Kano's legal team, the said ruling has no foundation in law or fact and should be set aside by the Apex Court. Ejiofor said the team will follow up on the administrative process to ensure that both appeals are given accelerated hearing in line with the extant fast-track rules of the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal had upheld the federal government's application for stay of execution of the October 13 judgment, which set Kano free. Emirates Airlines has announced suspension of flight operations to Nigeria over its inability to repatriate blocked funds. The airline, in a statement, said the suspension took effect from October 29, 2022, and has communicated its position to the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Emirates had in August suspended flights to Nigeria over its $85 million repatriated revenue. In August, the International Air Transport Association, IATA, said foreign airlines have not been unable to repatriate $464 million from Nigeria. Emirates said it has not received an allocation of its blocked funds, and without the timely repatriation and a mechanism in place to ensure that future repatriation do not accumulate in any way, the backlog will continue to grow and cannot meet its operational costs nor maintain the commercial viability of its Nigeria operations. On the foreign scene, the parties in the conflict in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray have agreed on a permanent cessation of hostilities. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, in the first briefing on the peace talks, also said that Ethiopia's government and Tigrayan authorities have agreed on orderly, smooth and restoration of law and order and unhindered access to humanitarian supplies. Juliet Bula has the reports.
After 10 days of talks in Pretoria, Ethiopia's federal government and the Tigray People Liberation Front reached an agreement to end the fight. The talks are mediated by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Today is the beginning of a new dawn for Ethiopia, for the Horn of Africa, and indeed for Africa as a whole. Let me hasten to thank God for this new dawn. We have seen in practice and actualization what we have tried to achieve for ourselves over the years, and that is African solution for African problems.
The 2-year conflict killed thousands of people and forced many more from their homes. Tigray in Ethiopia's north has been under a blockage for 7 months with no banking, telephone and internet services or media access. The Tigrayan delegation says it has made painful concessions and the trust must now be rebuilt.
Our people have been killed not only through bullets but also for lack of food and medicine. Our children do not go to schools. Our hospitals are not functional because of the war.
Humanitarian is now expected to resume. The TPLF dominated Ethiopia's politics for nearly 30 years until Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came to power in 2018. As both sides fight for territory, human rights campaigners have warned of potential abuses by both sides in the conflict.
It is now for all of us to honor this agreement. We must be true to the letter and the spirit of this agreement. The people of Ethiopia expected more than the text of this agreement. They demand peace and harmony. They desire development.
International calls for an end to the war have been mounting in recent weeks, while the federal government has been assisted by troops from neighboring Eritrea, but that country was not involved in the talks. This is not the first time there has been an agreement to end the fighting. A previous ceasefire fell apart in August this year. This time though, there appears to be a greater commitment and optimism that this agreement will hold. Juliet Buna, Osrc News.
And still in the foreign scene, Pakistan's ousted Prime Minister Imran Khan has survived a gun attack on his convoy while holding a protest march in the eastern city of Wazirabad. He was injured in the leg while 4 other people were also hurt when a burst of gunfire hit their platform, a container towed by a lorry. Khan was leading the march, which was meant to end in the capital, Islamabad. Police have arrested a man who they say attempted to kill the former Prime Minister. And now to sports. Staying fit, irrespective of one's age, is important in ensuring a healthy living. Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Dele Ologun, gave the advice to Nigerian Olympians who were in Akure for their elective congress. Akitunde Akishimola has the detail.
It was a mini reunion for some athletes who had represented Nigeria in the Olympic Games. From far and wide, they came and converged on Akure, the state capital, for their elective congress. Ondo State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Dele Ologun, who was a guest on the occasion, expressed delight that the Olympians chose Akure for their event. Ologun remarked that the Olympians must take up regular exercise to remain fit at all times. The Sports Commissioner also charged them to assist Ondo State in discovering hidden talents for future competitions.
We continue to impart knowledge on the younger ones, and whichever way they can assist the government to discover raw talent, we should bring them around, especially in Ondo State, where our doors are open anytime to receive them and to get their words of knowledge and drink from their water of knowledge. All of them are winners today, both those that will win and those that will win on the other side. We should always remember to all work together. Everybody knows it all, and they should continue to be one. I'm happy with the spirit. The spirit here is very good. That's the right spirit. We should continue to work together as one.
At the end of its elective congress, the Nigerian Olympian Association re-elected ex-captain of the male basketball team, Olumide Oyedeji, president. Oyedeji thanked his fellow Olympians, promising better welfare for the former Nigerian representatives.
It was a challenge for them just to give me another time to continue the leadership of the Nigerian Olympian Association. So there's going to be a lot of improvement from what we started, talking about the welfare, talking about contributing to the society, continue to lead the spirit of Olympism, and just keep making a difference. And it's very, very important. For you to be an Olympian, it takes a lot. We are all legends, we are all very successful in all our chosen field of sports. So to continue to breed the younger generation of sports talent in the country.
Also elected as executive of the group were former technical director, Nigerian Weightlifting Federation, Lawrence Ikwaibom, and 1996 Olympics bronze medalist Falila Tugunkoya as vice president, while Atlantic Games gold medalist Emmanuel Babayaro was picked as secretary general of the Olympians, among others. Akintunde Akinshomola for Osrc News.
And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that the National Population Commission (NPC) in Ondo State has urged stakeholders to support the commission in conducting a credible and acceptable census in 2023. The present administration in Ondo State has harped on the need to identify, predict and evaluate foreseeable impacts of environment activities that can cause various degrees of damage to the environment. The leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has approached the Supreme Court to appeal the ruling by the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of the court judgment discharging him. And from the foreign scene, the parties in the conflicts in Ethiopia's northern region of Tigray have agreed on a permanent ceasefire. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much.